Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, can you mix a stiff poly string with a soft poly string? What would happen? Stay tuned. All right, guys. Good morning to everybody. Morning Roast sponsored by Leighton Lum today. Leighton writes, visited your store last August and opened one of your videos. Still watching, learning, and loving Solinco Confidential. A lot of people love Solinco Confidential, just like me. All right, Leighton, thank you for the coffee. I appreciate it. If you want to support my dark roast, piping hot coffee habit, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. Thank you all for keeping it going. Thank you all for hooking it up. I appreciate it. A lot of people have suggested and asked me to do like a string job, doing a stiff main, like a stiff poly string on the main, and crossing it with a soft poly. So poly. So we're going to try and do that with Coach Goo's racket right here. And what I'm going to do is, since he uses Tour Bite currently on full bed at 60, he's asked me to tone it down to 55 now. So I'm going to do 58. And I'm going to go here, 16 gauge Tour Bite on the main. And I'm going to cross it with the softer, pretty much softer Hyper G. So, because I've done Confidential before, but let's take it way down and go to Hyper G on the cross and see what happens. Will it feel livelier? Will you not feel anything at all? There will be a feel change, but let's see how it is. All right, so stringing up Goo's racket, feeling the string bed. Actually does soften up. I'm not done yet, but this Hyper G actually slides really easy over that Tour Bite. So it's I wonder how this is gonna play. I wonder if Goo's gonna like it. I mean, you know we don't like Hyper G because it's too soft. But let's see how it works over the Tour Bite. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. All right, so I got a special guest, Angus here, that tried it with us too. I'm gonna actually go to Angus first. Angus, what'd you think?
So the string, I'm coming from a place where I haven't even used this racket yet. So my first impression of this racket and the string setup was that I didn't feel a lot of ball pocketing. I felt an instantaneous release upon impact, and it launched. It launched well. But as far as ball pocketing, I didn't feel a whole lot. But I felt that this racket played pretty powerful. It's springy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Go, this is your normal racket. What did you feel?
Overall, I mean, the racket's actually fine. Like Angus said, it didn't really pocket as much. I was super surprised. I mean, I actually wasn't surprised, but it actually gave a lot more spring, a lot more spin, but it didn't pocket that long. So I actually lost a little more control when I actually tried to cover the ball. And there's some shots that I felt like it left too early and actually side spinned off, which I noticed. But it was a fun experiment. Would I use this? No. Wouldn't even encourage it, actually. But yeah, I mean, as you can tell, it definitely got a lot more spin. Like, it definitely got a lot more pop, just like speed velocity. But when it comes to ball pocketing, pretty much non-existent. So it's like a trampoline.
I can kind of feel that myself too. It felt like it softened up the string bed. It wasn't so harsh. Is one of the benefits from it.
Well, tennis elbow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for that, it's good. The ball didn't. I understand what Angus and Coach Gu are talking about. It kind of, the ball was just like boink, boink, boink,
Yeah.
boink. There was no whoop, no whoop, like that. There was none of that stuff. But it did dampen, though. That was the funny thing. That soft string dampened the hard string.
As you can tell, there's no dampener.
So it wasn't harsh on the arm. So for you guys, I understand when you're telling me to try this. It makes sense if you're trying to soften up the harder string.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the benefit in that. We're not quite used to, this combination. Therefore, it's hard to get used to something like this, especially when
basically two different extremes, going about really harsh string versus really soft string in the Solinco family.
Yeah, it's kind of like jumping in a really cold ice bath and then jumping into a sauna right after that. What's going to happen? Steam. So,
Good job, bud.
whatever. I'm so smart. So this is kind of like steam. It's kind of like, it ain't wet, but it ain't dry. It ain't hot, but it ain't cold. Where am I going with this? I have no idea.
Yeah, just stop for you.
But it was all right. It was all right.
I mean, I prefer the confidential and the...
Yeah, the confidential,
That
at
would
least
make
you
more
have
sense.
medium firm to firm.
That's
so
I'm curious, you know what you should try next? Not on my racket,
not on my
but
racket.
you might do it anyways, is how about confidential and Hyper G? What do you think that?
Okay, that's next. Okay, we got medium firm to soft. Okay, we'll try that next.
Put it on Harry's racket.
This doesn't work though. This doesn't work for us. That doesn't mean it doesn't work for you guys.
But for us, we're playing for like competitive playing. I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, and I also feel like if you can use a racket like this, it'll be hard for you to use anything else, because this is so like out there.
Mhm.
It's just like
Too much of an experiment on this one.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
yeah.
Go, where can we find you?
You can find me at ag.tennis. I'll also be posting content there as well.
All right. Thank you. The special guest, Angus. Angus, where can we find you?
You can find me on Nocturne Astro on Instagram, and also on my YouTube channel for all things astrophotography.
All right. So photography, not tennis. Maybe you should do some tennis photography.
That will be hard.
In the Astro. In the Astro. Tennis photography
that's
in the
even
Astro.
more difficult. Yeah.
Harry, this is why we question you.
That's why we watch, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.
Oh, this could be it, Harry. Oh, Harry, great contact. Now, the idea, Harry, is we need it to land in the blue. I know you're kind of starting out here. Let's try it again, Harry. Somewhere in the blue space on the other side of the net. Harry, that's a great shot. I think you even hit it on the blue on court 3, Harry. It's okay. I didn't really specifically say our court. I just said blue. So, job well done. Let's try again. Keep it in our space on our court. There says number 1. Here we go, Harry. Give it a shot. Oh, Harry. No, I didn't say hit the number 1.
Want a coach with positive energy like Coach Rob? Find what your game is looking for at playyourcourt.com.
Oh, Harry, you swung and missed. I bet you can watch the ball a little longer. Try to keep your head still. Oh, Harry, nice try.